Hi, everybody. It's Thursday, April 9th, 2020, and we made it through almost through the entire week this week. So this is our second week on videos, and I think we're doing pretty good. I hope you're doing really well. I'm staying home. If I go out, I wear a mask. If I go to the grocery store, I wear a mask. I am practicing social distancing like we're supposed to. Recap, you're probably sick of hearing this by now, but this is Stages of Process-Based Writing, which is online in the Google Classroom that you can access this format, this rubric. This is also here too, where you can print it off color like this, or you can color code your own. These are the entire 6 traits. We've already gone through ideas. Ideas, keep a journal that I asked you to do in the beginning video. Write in various modes of writing, which we still have to go over. Okay, write from read alouds. Read alouds is what I've been doing every day. Different books, picture books that I've been reading aloud to you that basically focus on traits of writing. The Day the Crayons Quit, I have my little tag of voice up here in the very beginning, so I know this is dealing with voice. You can use it for other traits, but I like it for the voice. Word choice was Dr. Seuss that we had the last 2 days. Because word choice is where we're going, and we have created our dictionary page. Our dictionary page is basically we're incorporating words, and when we go through the editing stage, we're at sharing and revising right now. And then when we go through the editing, then we're going to go ahead and edit and put those things in there, and that is going to be tomorrow or next week. We're going to start that because we have to make sure that we have the sharing the draft, sharing the draft, and revising the draft all here with all 6 traits. You notice for today, my delightful timeline is still online too, the interactive timeline. That's just a simplistic timeline to quiz you, make sure you know what's going in each paragraph. This is a simple picture book. It can change, the topic can change. Ms. Thomas and Ms. Brown have other videos up that you can go ahead and watch in the Google Classroom that actually supports writing, that supports like character traits, main idea, things like that. So all of that goes together. It all fits like a glove. It's like close reading. Close reading is you're reading like a picture book. You're reading the story and you're thinking as you're reading. You're not just reading vague words. You're not just reading the words on the page. You're actually reading with voice, with word choice, seeing which words you can pull out of the story, put it in your dictionary page, and then your dictionary page, it explodes into other words. This is how that your vocabulary and your word choice explodes, like I just said. If you just went ahead and started using the words that you could remember, a lot of times they're all they are is elementary words, because those you've learned when you were little and you grow up and they go with you. And so you remember play, run, chase, loud, speed. But there's other words, so many other words. And I used to do word hunts in my classroom when I actually taught lesson every single day, and I taught different classes. I do that now at Job Corps, but it's a little bit different because we're online. So I don't actually teach the classes. I pretty much were there to guide you through it and to give you direction. But when I actually taught, like Miss Niels and Miss Russ actually teach classes, or the reading teachers, Miss Harmon and Miss Golden and others, when they actually teach those classes, then I always had a dictionary hunt. And this is my dictionary hunt that I would do. You would write down the words that you use in your writing, because writing and reading go hand in hand. It's like a book. It's like they go together. Okay, just like, and then math comes in, and math will complement reading and writing. They do reading and writing and math. We do math and reading and writing. It's like it should be interchangeable constantly. So you can see that I use a lot of math terms. I use a lot of math analogies. I use that to support math, because multiplication, addition, subtraction, division, all that is so important. And you need to know your facts. You need to function in our society, and your employer is going to want to make sure that you have all the basics. Okay, if you don't have the basics, you're not going to keep your job. And that's not our goal here. Our goal here is for you to earn 100%. That means you keep your job. That means you're earning 100%, which you know that what that is. That's an A. If not, if you fall short of the 100%, you're still above 70%. Usually you land between 80 and 90%, which is still an AB, which is so important. And you know the difference between what an 80% paper looks like and a 30% paper looks like. Night and day, they're spectrum, huge boundaries in between, giganto. Okay, so you already know that, where a lot of schools, you know, also are accepting 30 and 40%. We're not. We want you to earn 100%. We do everything possible, learning checks, assessments, PDFs that you read, close reading that you've been told and you've been reminded that this is a close read. You read slowly, you write your own sentence after you get done reading either a sentence and or a paragraph, and you put it in your own words. And this is what I've been doing here. This is nothing but dictionary, my dictionary for this book. And you notice this book is a picture book, and look how many words that I have just for a picture book. Do you have this many words for your American government paper? Do you have this many words in your biology labs? Did you write down the words? Did you look up the other words that attach to it? Because in biology, the same thing happens. You have the math and you have the writing and you have the reading that combine together into it. And it gets really technical at times. That's where a lot of you guys are getting those math lab or those biology labs wrong, because you're not doing this and then you're not putting the details in. So today I went ahead, this is paragraph 6 that I have up on the corner. My delightful timeline is online. This is 5-space indent UC. I have 2 of them, so this is going to be a huge paragraph. This is my research paragraph, and I'm looking at voice, looking at word choice, looking at voice, looking at word choice. I've already looked at organization, but I always keep it on my board because in my head, I always want that organization solid. I don't want it all over the place. I don't want to not put in punctuation, see the commas. I don't want to stop thinking about editing because editing is my next step. So what I went ahead and did is I went ahead and put fluency here after alter the beginning of the sentences, and I just put alter the beginning for my notes on here because I know that is a rule, that is a standard, not just a rule, that's a key idea. And a key idea is a standard. Therefore, you need to know it. And I have 2 days together, and I wrote the sentence out, and I said, that sounds kind of funny. And then I looked and I said, they, how did I do that? And that was my first, and I was going to rewrite it. And I thought, no, this is perfect for editing for sentence fluency so that you can actually see it in action, which is the purpose of these videos, to see it in action. So I walk you through it. Word choice, we're going to pull from here. Voice, want to hear your voice. You hear mine right now, and this is my voice, but I want to hear your voice as well. I thought that would be kind of cool. Goyoit is my reference for my works cited page, and my works cited up there that's laying, so I'm going to put that over this when we're done. So we're going to cite our sources. I put works cited down here in my margin so that I also know, and then I have to pull this down. So it's down here. Works cited is in my margin to remind me that I have works cited here and I have a works cited here. I might want to put more in, although I did put a source in there. And I have a specific color. And I have my works cited and sentence fluency almost the same color, but so that it will stand out. Okay, then I went ahead and wrote it up, freehand write, printed it, and then I made a mistake up there. So I did my 1-line delete and I did my caret insert. So my insert is 4, and I might change it back. I don't know, but right at the time I did that, I wanted to keep it the way it is right there. So I'm going to go ahead and read it to you, our story, because then I want to get to circumference, first round table. And this is a math book. Yes, I understand that, but it has word choice and fluency. And right now we're looking at word choice, and I pulled in fluency because I want everything to flow. Remember, we have to go back, and underneath this, we have our paragraph from yesterday to make sure it flows. I didn't add anything to it yet down here because that's going to be for revision. That's going to be for editing. I might want to add some of these words to create and make a sentence or 2 more, to go in and pull something from YouTube, to pull something from somewhere else. This right now is Goya. This is my other works cited or research that I did today. Goya, Humane Society and Vet Street. And Goya, Bennett, and Cross is the research that I came across for developmental stages. So I want to read that to you so that way then we can go back here and start. When there is no interaction, the kitten is likely to stop eating, feels unwanted, needs physical interaction, or death may occur. These controls verify and confirm the importance of powerful chasing, stalking, predator behavior, and we have our sources here. So we're going to add to that after we're in our editing. But right now, I'm going to go back up. Paragraph 6, transition sentence I don't have between paragraph 5 and paragraph 6, but we will. It is important for kittens to have social interactions during their developmental stages. Solid sentence. This is so important according to Goyette, Bennett, and Cross. I've cited my source so I don't have to put it in parentheses. I said it, this is so important according to. Anytime you put according to or reference your source, you are not plagiarizing, so you're okay. So since you're not plagiarizing, then you can continue on. There it is. Yeah, I'm still here? Okay. My screen just went blank. Oh, I don't know where it went. I don't know. Hopefully I didn't come across on that video. I'll have to double check it. Oh my. I just lost everything. Okay, so where was I at? I was here, they. So when you do according to, then you're referring to the source, the resource for your Works Cited page down here, which is up there, and I'll show you where all the Works Cited information is on there, because you have to have your author's last name, first, title, etc. for MLA. They discovered that social play is more important than object play, Goyette. So I referenced them up here, but I'm going to go ahead and put the parentheses down there because it referenced what I have in my Works Cited page above. Okay. Also, they also discovered kittens communicate differently with mom than dad. That was in their article, and there is a very popular article on, I think it's Wiley Online, which is a really good source for colleges and universities. They use it quite often. I started, both parents need to be present. And then I thought, that sounds like a fragment. That sounds like an incomplete thought. I don't want to leave it there at all, especially when this is a picture book and there's younger children or younger people that are actually learning how to write and read. So we want to have that complete thought there. So I want to use my higher level therefore, because I'm a writer and I don't want it to sound like I'm in 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th grade. I want it to sound like I'm in high school or above. So I'm going to use therefore, and I did it in red. I crossed off the capital B, put the lowercase b, and put therefore with my caret there and a comma after my therefore, because I'm setting up therefore. Parents need to be present. The long-lasting lessons that every kitten learns, comma, how their brain develops, and the positive interactions all play important roles to develop. And the important interactions all play important roles. I need a punctuation there. I don't know where it goes right this second, and I don't have anything to write with, so I'm going to leave it because we're not in editing. We're just doing word choice. We're doing organization. We're doing voice, and I know it doesn't flow. So I'm going to make myself a note here. No flow. So what I know when I go back to sentence fluency, because I did that before and I started doing some editing, so our entire paper is going to look like this when we're finished. We're going to have inserts, we're going to have other things, but this does not flow. I like the information because positive interactions do occur. Play is important, and that's an important role for the development of a kitten, but I think I might need to divide this up because look at this is this sentence here, starts, and then it ends down here. That's an awfully long sentence. So if I divide it up into 2 different sentences, and now I see there's no flow, and the sentence fluency, if I go ahead and take my rubric that I've been working on this entire time, and I'm going to go ahead and put my green marker, and I'll put my green marker here, just like that, and I'm going to go ahead and mark sentence fluency, because now I know when I use this rubric, and this is my code that I use, that I really love, is that if I see this green marker somewhere on my paper, and I see it on one of in the rubric, in the right source rubric, then I know I have to look at fluency. There's no rhythm. there's no flow. Something's stopping my flow. And if something's stopping my flow, then I have to look at a variety of length for my sentences, and this is way too long. I have nice short ones up here, but that's way too long for a picture book. And then I have to look at good variety in length and structure of my sentences. Does it flow and rhythm from one to the next, just like a rat beat? And remember, I stopped and I went, oh, their brain develops. We found that out previously. And we have that in the research. I believe it's in paragraph 4, a little bit in 5. So we want to keep that in there. It means life survival. It means life survival as cats are similar to human development. This does not flow either. So now I want to go ahead and do the same thing. Doesn't flow. So I'm glad that I have this extra space that I didn't write on from yesterday, because now I can go ahead and write the sentence again over here if I need to, and maybe that information needs to go to paragraph 5. Maybe that information, some of it needs to go to paragraph 4. Maybe it needs to stay in 6, or I divide this up into 2 different paragraphs. We're going to find out when we go through the editing, but we're not at editing, we're still looking at the traits. We're making sure that we have all the elements that we need for each trait, and we're looking at several: voice, word choice, fluency, organization. And fluency, we're starting to move from, we moved out of ideas because we have the idea of the picture book. We know exactly Sebastian, and we, just like circumference roundtable is going to be talking about circumference and circle, we know that the kittens and Sebastian and Misty are part of the story too. So maybe we want to add them to paragraph 6, which I have not in here at all. I've done nothing but research in this paragraph. So that's a big deal too. Then down here, I went ahead and I did a transition sentence, and I pulled this transition sentence from the notes that we had before, because this works really well. And this is a quote, remember, that I had in there, and I have to cite the quote, which I did not do. So I'm going to go ahead and put my parentheses here, because if I remember right, for Sigmund Freud, and I'm going to put that in there, and I have too much space there, I know. But transition sentence means fluency. I did it in green. My fluency is green, and so now I know spelling. Purposely Freud, misspelled, so now I have flow, flow. Too long of a sentence. Transition sentence, does it flow from one? Well, yeah, it does. Survivalist cats are similar to human development. And maybe we want to add something in there about babies or human development that would complement Goyette and the Humane Society and Vet Street. Because Goyette, Bennett, and Cross is a very reliable and verifiable type of research that I found online in Wyatt Library, University Library. So we definitely want to use it. I did not exaggerate at all in this piece. There's no fantastical of anything or fantasy in this paragraph at all. Is it loud? No. It's very authoritative. It's very reliable, verifiable, dependable, trust, safe, good, authentic. Verify is to confirm, prove, substantiate, back up, justify, and support. That's what this is, and these are the people that I've gotten this information from, that I have quoted, and I might want to add more to it, because I'm not really happy with a few areas, which is okay, which is good, but it does match my delightful timeline. I'm at 18 minutes already, almost 20. So here's what word choice is. Word choice is precision, effectiveness, imagery. Do we have imagery? We do. Do we have effectiveness? Most of the words are effective. Do we have precision? I believe we do. Are some of the words strong and fresh? They are, because they verify and confirm. Survival, interactions, brain development, things of that nature are on all according to the research. We might want to pull in more vivid images or vivid verbs too. The voice, a sense of audience. Sense of audience is, I'm the expert, the writer behind the words comes through, is that this is what I've learned. And remember, I have that on that one rubric that we have. What did you learn? Can you teach it back to someone else? That's so important. That's part of reciprocal teaching, among other methods and other types of teachings too. Your voice shows emotion, humor, honesty, suspense, or life. Well, this one does not. This is authoritative. I didn't want that humor in here. I want it to be very appropriate and to the audience that I have so that they learn something from the picture book and learn something from Sebastian. So sentence fluency is the rhythm, flow, and variety in each sentence. We took care of that because we had the they. So that's going to remind us that we've got to change that. They discovered that social play is more important than object play, referring to Goyette, Bennett, and Cross. They also discovered, which is referring to Goyette, Bennett, and Cross. So maybe we should put Goyette, Bennett, and Cross at the beginning there. Kittens communicate differently with mom and dad. And that would make me feel better because then this whole section of the paragraph is referring to Goyette, Bennett, and Cross's article. Now, is that the only thing that I found? No, this is the only thing I knew I had time for today. That's it, because the time goes by really fast. 30 minutes seems like a long time, but actually it's really not at all. It goes by quickly. So generally in control, we have a general control of our sentence structure in our paragraph. We have now looked at ideas, 1, voice, 2, word choice, 3, organization, 4, sentence fluency, 5. Remember, there's 6 traits. And then there's a +1. The +1 is the published piece. So to get to 2, we have one more trait to look at, which is conventions. Okay, and that rubric tells us exactly where we're at and what we're looking at. I put my green mark. I've already done this, my yellow and my blue, and then my pink. So this will be highlighted differently when we come back tomorrow or on Monday. And then we're going to look, conventions is the very last thing that we do. We've done some of that all along. It should go very quickly. But if you are one that doesn't know how to spell words, then it might not go as quickly because you're going to have your dictionary. And remember here, I spelled certain words to make sure I would not misspell them in my writing. That's so important, and you take care of that in conventions. In conventions, exceptionally strong control of standard conventions of writing means your sentences are in complete control. Your spelling is in complete control. You do not have any misspellings. You do not have anything that's not punctuated correctly. So you need to make sure that your sentences are punctuated correctly because errors are few and minor is 5 strong. 6, no errors. 4 is proficient, which is a C. However, control most of your writing, you can have maybe 2 errors at the very most. That's it. And what happens if you leave out a period, a punctuation period, or exclamation or a comma? That takes care of one error that you have. And what happens if you didn't indent? What happens if you misspelled or you rearranged your words? There's another one. And all of a sudden, you know that we have to take off 2 to 5 points. And if there's no heading, that's minus 10 points right off the bat. So that all plays into your conventions too as well. Developing 3 is a D. And a D level is limited control of conventions. Frequent errors do not interfere with but they don't interfere with understanding. So if your errors interfere with understanding, you drop down to 1, beginning, which is a beginning writer. And we don't want that because we want you to earn 100%. Okay. Establishes a clear, focused, and significant main idea. Ideas. Connects and enhances ideas in original ways. I think we did that. Creates an inviting lead that establishes clear purpose. We have to go back and look at that organization. We have not looked at that one. Develops seamless organization that enhances and showcases central ideas and their relationships. We have ideas. We flowed. So when I type this up, then we're going to go ahead and look at those ideas and organization. We revisit it and we make sure that everything flows from one sentence to the other, to one paragraph to the other. Organization enhances the ideas and makes them easier to understand. We have a lot of great ideas in here and research that we found. Word choice. Does the language convey precise and compelling meaning and or create a vivid picture for the reader? Using precise and powerful, accurate and engaging vivid imagery, figurative language where appropriate. We couldn't put it all in there, but we could put most of it in there. Okay. Sentence fluency uses well-built, strong, varied sentences flows with compelling rhythm and cadence. Cadence is the beat, rhythm is the beat. Writer controls the sentences so the text flows smoothly when read aloud. Remember, reading aloud is slower than reading to yourself, and it has to engage the reader throughout the text with creative and varied transitional words. Have we looked at transitional words? We've looked at a couple of them. Where's my therefore? There it is. And we've put other transition words in there as well. We have to go back and purposely put them in, and transition sentences. Here's the transition sentence here at the end of paragraph 6. Okay, voice, appropriate voice, task, purpose, and audience. So I keep reading them because you should have them memorized. The more you have them memorized and you know them, the better off you're going to be. I'm also using this book, which I love, The Writing Thief, and I did this when I was getting my reading degree, and along with my online distance degree. They refer to this quite often. This is Ruth Colham, and she uses mentor text to teach the craft of writing, which is what I'm doing with picture books. Okay, Heinemann does the same thing, and I've taken all those workshops as well. So this is, I really love the key quality that she puts in here, that she actually talks about. And it says key quality. The writer offers credible, accurate details and creates pictures in the reader's mind from the beginning of the piece to the end. Those details provide the reader with evidence, facts of the writer's knowledge about and or experience with the topic, which is, it's an internal structure of the piece is organization. That's why I kept referring to verifiable, reliable, because it has to be. And then therefore, when you go into argument, you know through organization that your piece is a verifiable and reliable piece, that you can sit down and not yell and scream at someone like you're used to arguing, but actually intelligently talking, and each person has their turn in debate, which is what they call that, and that is a debatable argument. Mentor text, key quality, creating the lead. The writer grabs the reader's attention. We haven't even looked at the reader's attention grabber at the beginning yet. I do that last, and then I also look at the title last. From the start and leads him into or leads her into the piece naturally. The writer entices the reader, providing a tantalizing glimpse of what's to come. Unit using sequence and transition words. The writer includes a variety of carefully selected sequence words. Later, then, meanwhile, therefore, oh, however, oh, you think I used that before as well. Through the piece, also, clearly, according, relate, diverge, progress. All of that refers to transition words and sentences that we're going to go ahead and use tomorrow or the next day. Again, the key quality, developing the body, which is what we've been doing, creates a piece that is easy to follow by fitting details together logically. Remember, this is our piece. We created this, our piece, together along with this. And I have just a couple minutes, so I can't get to circumference today, I do not believe, because I'm coming up on my 30-minute mark. However, I can go ahead. We're going to do this. We're going to put this up here. Okay, right here. Whoop. Move the camera so you don't see. There we go. So works cited, and remember, this is a rough draft works cited, so when I type it up, it's going to look different. But I have my first, and this is all has to be alphabetical. So Chewy is going to go up here, R is going to come down here. But I did last name, author's last name first, and then the first name last, and then there's a series, there's more than one author there. So I went ahead and put that there as well. Feline Behavioral Health and Welfare ebook. Haven't even used that information yet, but I did look it up, so I put it with my works cited because it does support some of the other things that we've been saying, and I could actually add that to paragraph 3 or 4 and or 5 earlier to actually have a more verifiable confirmation, testify, validate what we found. Goyette, Gary W. Bennett, Thomas L., and Cross, Henry A., first published in 1980. It's published again in 2020. which is, whoop, I did not put that. I have to put that there. The effects of social isolation on the behavior of juvenile domestic cats was a lot of information. I'm out of time. We're going to stop here. We're going to do circumference tomorrow. Okay. So you guys take it easy tonight. Be safe. Stay home. Talk to you soon.